Okay, so you want to unlock, like, the secrets to powerful piano playing. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into something that, I don't know about you, but to me always seemed a little counterintuitive: relaxed hands. I mean, when I picture, like, Rachmaninoff or someone, I see those fingers flying across the keys, and it just seems so forceful. So where does relaxed fit into all of that?
Right. Like, it's almost a paradox, right? But it's funny because this whole idea of relaxed hands, it really actually, like, revolutionized how I approach the piano.
Oh, wow, really? How so?
Well, so this course we're looking at, it describes the hands as, get this, the bridge between mind and instrument. I thought that was such a cool way to put it. So it's not just about, strength and just like brute force, it's about channeling something deeper, using your whole body.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But we're not talking about being, like, totally loosey-goosey at the piano, right?
Yeah.
Like, just letting your hands flop all over the place.
No, not at all. In fact, the course talks about this really important distinction between what they call unhealthy tension and healthy tension. And it's that healthy tension that's what we're after.
Okay, all right, so let's unpack that a bit. What's the difference? I mean, we've all felt that, right? That kind of tension that just creeps in when you're playing, like your hands are cramping, your fingers are locking up. Happens to me all the time.
Oh, all the time. Yeah, absolutely. That kind of tension, that unhealthy tension, it's like your muscles are bracing for impact. Like they're getting ready for a fight.
Yeah.
And it comes from, fear, uncertainty. Maybe you're just trying too hard. And that actually works against you because it creates a sound that's stiff, unresponsive.
So how do we avoid that? What does that healthy tension actually feel like?
Think of it this way. Imagine your muscles are almost like they're breathing as you play. There's this like gentle give and take, a sense of fluidity, responsiveness, like almost like a dance between your hands and the keys.
Breathing muscles. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. So is that where this whole idea of, like, using your whole body comes into play? Because I've heard that before, but it's always been kind of vague to me. I never really understood how to put it into practice.
Your fingers, they're not isolated units, right? They're extensions of your entire arm, your back, your core. Like your whole body becomes the instrument. And it's the weight of your body that we can actually learn to channel through our fingertips.
So it's not all about, like, finger strength. You're saying that, somebody with smaller hands can still achieve a really powerful sound.
Absolutely. It's physics. Like, think about it. It's so much easier and more efficient to move a larger object, like your whole arm, than it is to isolate and control those tiny little muscles in your fingers. And that's where the relaxed hands come in.
Okay, so when I'm sitting at the piano, how do I actually, like, tap into that whole body power? Because, to be honest with you, I feel like sometimes my arms are almost like working against me, not really with me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It's a really common struggle. And this is where it gets even more interesting. So the course talks about the importance of wrist movement and how that actually plays into everything we've been talking about in terms of using your whole body.
The wrist. Okay, now we're getting even more specific.
It's so often overlooked, but it's so essential for creating a fluid, expressive sound. It's almost like, think of it as like the bridge, right? Between the power of your arm and then like the more delicate articulation of your fingers.
Okay, a bridge, conduit. I'm getting it. But, like, how do I actually use my wrists in a way that, supports this whole relaxed yet powerful style of playing?
Well, so the course describes two main types of wrist motion. They call them, get this, 2D and 3D motion.
Okay, that does sound a little bit like we're building a robot pianist or something.
You're right, but just bear with me for a second because it'll make sense. So 2D motion basically is like, think of moving your wrist like side to side like you're waving.
Okay, yeah.
And then 3D motion basically is that side to side motion, but then also adding like an up and down element as well. So it's almost like you're scooping something, or maybe even like conducting an orchestra.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. So it's not just about, like, keeping your wrists stiff. It's about actually incorporating these more natural movements. But, like, what's the purpose of that? How does that translate to, better playing?
It's all about control and expression. Like, by using these different wrist motions, we can create like smoother transitions between notes. We can shape phrases more musically. We can add this whole other dimension of feeling to our playing. It's almost like adding different colors to a painting, Yeah. You can create so much more depth and nuance.
So, like, if I'm playing something really dramatic, maybe I would use like more of that scooping motion, that 3D motion you were describing.
Exactly, exactly. And then if you're playing something that's like lighter, more delicate, maybe you'd use more of that like gentle side-to-side motion. It's all about really listening to the music and then just letting your body respond in the most,
Yeah.
natural, expressive way.
This is making me realize we kind of tend to like compartmentalize our bodies when we
Mm.
play. It's like, okay, fingers do this, wrists do that, but it's really more about like integrating all those different elements into one, fluid movement.
Yes, yes. That's such a good way to put it. And it's that integration that's what really leads to like a truly effortless and captivating performance.
Okay, so we've got the relaxed hands, we've got the body weight, the wrist motion.
Yeah.
How do I actually put all this into practice?
Well, so the course suggests a bunch of different exercises, like things like practicing scales and arpeggios, but really focusing on those movements, like really paying attention to the sensations in your hands and arms, how things are moving, how things are connecting.
So it's about like being mindful, not just, blindly going through the motions.
Exactly. It's not about adding like more things to think about while you're playing. It's more about cultivating like this deeper awareness, right, of
Mhm.
your body and how it interacts with the instrument. And that awareness, that's where the real magic happens.
This has been like seriously eye-opening for me already, I'm not going to lie.